Good morning. Good morning. So, today we're going to talk about what to do with disappointment. Who here has never had a disappointment in their life? Raise your hand. Nobody. Silly question. It's universal, right? We've all had disappointments. And the way I see it, disappointment sort of fits into one of two categories. The first category are the things that you have absolutely no control over, like traffic, or the weather, or your sports teams, or politics to a large extent, world events, and of course the biggest potential source of disappointment, other people. Other people, darn it, yeah. You know, a loved one that you really wanted to have there for Thanksgiving dinner that can't come, or somebody who insists on coming that you really would rather not have there. Family, friends, children. You know, the reality is we can't control others. Newsflash. We can't control what they do with their lives, you know. The only thing we can try to do is inspire. We can always try to inspire others. Can't control, but inspire. The second category that I see disappointment fall into are the things that happen as a result of the efforts that you have made that did not turn out as anticipated. You know, a job interview that didn't kind of go the way you wanted it to, a raise that you asked for that you didn't get, a relationship that didn't work out, you know, or, anything that you initiated and you created that just didn't turn out as you had hoped. So, for both categories, really the truth is stuff happens. Setbacks happen. Sometimes we can bounce back really quickly, you know, and other times it hits us really hard. And I think it's our response that makes the difference. The more we resist, the harder it is. The more we really, really want something to happen, but it doesn't, or we really, really don't want something to happen, but it does, you know, the more resistance there is. Oh, I wish this wasn't happening. Or, why can't he or she just change? Or, you know, why can't it just be as I envisioned it? That the more we really want something and it doesn't happen, the more resistance there is. We're resisting what is, and we don't have any control over what is. We have a control over our response. So rather than, you know, seeing what the alternative experience might bring, we get really attached to a specific outcome. Also, you know, the more we make something mean something, when we make it mean something really significant, the more we suffer. So I've shared here with you before that I'm in the process of writing a book and submitting it to agents. I've written a complete proposal and 3 sample chapters, and I've been submitting it to literary agents that take metaphysical, you know, personal growth, spiritual books. There's not a big list, but so anyway, all of them so far have said no, which does not surprise me, you know, because they're kind of set up to say no. They're so overwhelmed with submissions that, you know, they're not really open to looking at anything else. So that didn't throw me. So just keep going, right? So I found a publisher that you could submit to directly. Usually you need an agent to submit for you, which is just another layer of somebody to get through. But this one I could submit to directly, and they publish metaphysical, spiritual, personal growth material. So I thought, oh my God, what a great fit. How perfect. And I had actually read a couple of books that they had published, and they were so good. And I thought, yeah, mine fits right, mine is good, mine might even be better. This fits right in here. So I was like convinced that once they saw it and read it, they would be so thrilled and offer me a publishing deal and want to work with me to make it better and promote it. And you see, I have this whole thing going on in my head. I'm getting really attached to a specific outcome. To a specific outcome. So I submitted, and they say 6-8 weeks. 3 months later, I heard nothing. So I sent a nice little card. Just, hi. My proposal's there. Just kind of want to remind you. Hear nothing. 4 months later, nothing. I send another nice little card. Hi. My proposal's there. It's just reminding you. 5 months later, I send flowers. I really want to get their attention, Candy, well, I'm not bribing. I'm just trying to get your attention so that you'll take it. Because I'm convinced once they read it, they'll love it. So 6 months later, I get a simple reply. No. And I don't even think they read it because they weren't commenting on the content. It was just, we have stuff like this already in the pipeline kind of thing. So, that stung. That really stung. I had made this thing mean everything, and it crushed me. I really saw it as a way that I was beginning to step, into the next level. I made it mean everything, and I suffered. And so I actually put the whole thing away for over 2 months. I just wouldn't look at it. Just like, And thoughts in my head are like, well, if they think I have nothing special to offer, maybe they're right. Maybe I have nothing special to offer. And then a few weeks ago, I took a look at it again. I pulled it back out, and I read the chapters that I had written. And I thought, you know what, this is good. This is really good. I don't know anybody who's putting together all of these different aspects of spiritual growth in this way and providing exercises and guided meditations. It's like, this is really good. So, I'm back. I'm back. Better than ever. And I am ready to refine I'm ready to change my approach. I'm ready to do whatever I can to make it better. I'm ready to explore alternatives to traditional publishing. I'm ready. So, how we deal with, disappointment, how we hold it, how much we make it mean, how attached we are to a specific outcome. That's all in our control. All in our control. We can control that response. Now, at the same time, though, that said, we don't want to ignore our feelings. We don't want to ignore our emotions when disappointment strikes. Our initial response is generally emotional, right? Emotions are part of our human experience here and not something to be ignored or affirmed away, immediately, because they don't go away. They just get further buried and become toxic, right? So their energy, emotions are energy, need to be released energetically. So go have a good cry. Punch a punching bag, scream into a pillow, whatever. Get that energy out, that energy of that emotion. And then once that energy is released, then we can recenter in the awareness that, hey, the disappointment is temporary, right? It's temporary. But while it's here, we might as well use it. We might as well use it as a base from which to grow and rethink things. We rethinking our approach, making some adjustments, exploring alternatives, looking at what the new reality might be. Might be good. You know, the word repent actually means to rethink. It's not the old, oh, repent your sins. No, it means to rethink. The French word is repenser, which means literally to think again. To think again. So we want to use that to rethink, regroup, first connect with our, turn within, connect with our inner self, and connect with that guidance, that inner wisdom within us. And then once there, we open to that, we begin to develop and discover talents, abilities, qualities, new ways of approaching this and really beginning anew. Really, after a pause, we take a little pause, right? And we begin anew. And in that pause, we regroup, and we first release that emotional energy. So my daughter Olivia was sharing with me an exercise that her acting teacher taught her to release really strong emotions. And she told me the day that I called her to ask how her audition went. She was auditioning for a musical, which I've kind of forgotten now. It was a little over a year ago. But I remember the role being like so perfect for her, like tailor-made for her. And she was so excited, about the possibility. And, I'm calling her going, oh, how'd it go? And she said, I didn't get it. And I'm like, and? I'm expecting her to, start, having a meltdown and screaming and crying and blaming other people or whatever it is she does. But she had I'm good. I've gotten over it. It's like, what did you do? So the acting teacher taught her this thing to release those emotions. And it's kind of like, well, I don't really can't. All right, so you get down on the floor on your hands and knees, and you do a little like cat-cow thing. Like in yoga, the cat-cow thing? So like a scared cat, and then a cow, and the cat, and then she gets that going, and then she starts to vocalize, and allowing the sound to come all the way from her, groin, all the way up, and then releasing it in an open ah. So she keeps doing this until she clears the sadness and the anger and the frustration. And it worked. It worked. There's many ways that we can release the energy of the emotion. I actually did a talk on this, if you remember, not too long ago, like July, I think. So if you missed that, you can always go to our website and under the past services and find that archived there. The important is to find what works for you and do it. Release the energy of the emotion, you see? And then we get into this, we can go into the center. We can get connected with that inner wisdom and our inner guidance. Whoever said life is a giant classroom, life is a giant classroom, so true. This life in this human dimension is all about learning and growing. And part of that is making mistakes and missing the mark. Failure really is vital to building success. That's what all the successful people say. The really successful people, it's just, that's how they see it. Failure is essential. It's how we keep self-correcting until we get to the target. It was Henry Ford that said, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. So what we do with disappointment, with failure, determines whether we continue to make the same mistake or we grow into our full potential. Grow into our full potential. So, if you've had a lot of setbacks in your life, do you see yourself as a failure, or do you see yourself as somebody who is in process of growing and getting closer and closer all the time to the target. And it could be just one little, the next effort. That's the thing that actually does it. So Elbert Hubbard, who was a writer and philosopher, artist, he started the Roycroft artisan community at the turn of the century. And he said, a little more persistence, a little more effort, and what seemed hopeless failure may turn into glorious success. It's just a little more. You know, we refine our approach, we explore alternatives, just a little more from that place of being centered, you know? So when we leave those old ideas behind, we leave those old ways of doing things that aren't really working for us, then we open to new. We open to larger capacities within us, our higher aspects, our divine qualities. As Myrtle Fillmore says, see it as walking from one room to a larger, lighter room. Larger, lighter room. You know, we all seek to grow, to expand our awareness, and to open to that larger life that is seeking to emerge through us. That larger life is seeking to emerge from you. And the full potential is already complete. It's already complete within you now, within all of us now. And it's just a matter of discovering and revealing and developing those qualities, right? And then, you see, we turn within, we connect with that inner guidance, and we develop these qualities, we open to that inner wisdom within us, we allow that to guide us, and we cannot fail. We may make mistakes, we may have to adjust, but we absolutely cannot fail. And we, as infinite divine beings expressing, have the power to recreate anew. We have the power to recreate anew. And with, you know, what we're understanding here, what we're opening to, and the tools that we learn to be able to meditate, to do affirmative prayer, to connect in with our inner wisdom and our center and allow that to guide us. That's how we recreate anew. With more of our capacity, more of our aliveness, allowing more of this larger life to blossom in our lives. So once we understand this for ourselves, it also becomes easier to understand this for others. So we can, you know, easier to forgive others and their mistakes. We can see them and everyone as in process of growing, of developing. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, you know, makes missteps. It just makes us more compassionate. When we see it for ourselves, it makes it easier to see it for others. And we can hold for them that they are in process of growing and developing and whatever, however long, it's not for us to judge how long it takes or what kind of path they're on. You know, they're in process, and we can hold for them that they are in process and they are discovering and beginning to develop more of what's in them. More of that wholeness, revealing more of that wholeness. So Eric Butterworth, we've been studying the spiritual economics book in our Awakened Abundance class and just loving it. And one of the things that he says is that, you know, if you're looking at a situation as a problem in your life, a better word for that is project. So look at it as a project. When you think about that, think of what you're thinking of as a problem. If you just sort of call it a project, then suddenly there's a lightness about it. There's this positive energy, almost an enthusiasm about wanting to tackle it, take it on with your, you know, renewed energy, with all of your creative forces engaged. Just that shift in that word can create a whole different experience. So he says, see the challenges as projects, and you tune into a whole different flow of consciousness. You are faced with some opportunities to grow, but you feel secure in the awareness that the answers will unfold from within. There is a sense of lightness, of clear horizons, and of confident expectancy. Love that. So let's try to do that together right now. If you would just kind of get comfortable in your chair and maybe put anything that's on your lap to the side. Begin to take some slow, deep breaths. And if it's comfortable, close your eyes. Take some nice, deep, cleansing breaths. Now bring to mind a recent situation that disappointed you. Something that didn't turn out as you expected. Something you tried to do but missed the mark. Maybe it's something that you've been tempted to think is a problem, and so you've been struggling with it. Just bring it to your awareness. And now, bring your attention to the wisdom center at your solar plexus. It's really centered here in your solar plexus. That's the power of wisdom. Just maybe feel a soft glowing, a little warmth there. Breathing into that center, that power center of wisdom. You're activating that power center of wisdom. Allowing it to guide your thinking. And so now you can look at the disappointment or that problem from a new perspective, seeing it as a project. You're engaging your divine quality here and seeing from a higher perspective, engaging the power of your inner wisdom and allowing the answers to unfold from within. Allow the answer to unfold from within. And now, bring your focus to the power of imagination, which is in the center of your forehead. And feel that center, feel a nice warm glow. Feeling that center of imagination being activated now. Activating that power of imagination and allowing that power to help you see how you can approach this differently, how you can see it differently, how you could approach it creatively, innovatively, allowing new ideas, new creative ideas to flood your consciousness about this project. Really engaging this power that is innate within us all. Now, bring your attention to the power center of strength, which is at the base of your spine. Right at the base of your spine. That's our power center of strength. So feel that energy vibrating there. Feel that warmth. Activating that power of strength. That power of strength can now assist you in redoubling your efforts, and trying again with renewed vigor, renewed energy. Breathe through that. You're engaging your power centers here. These are your creative forces that can all work together to assist you in seeing it from a new perspective, discovering creative approaches, finding the strength and the courage and the enthusiasm to move forward, renewed. And take a moment, give thanks. Give thanks for this opportunity, this project, so that you can begin to activate more of your divine qualities, more of who you truly are, and continue to grow and expand your awareness and open to that larger life that is looking, seeking, wanting to emerge from you now. Breathing in, bringing this little meditation to a close. And begin to, with a nice deep breath, bring your awareness back into the room. Stretch your body a little bit. Look around. Be fully present. That's it, right? Our new approach with all of our creative energy, our creative forces engaged, all of our power engaged. So opportunities, there's such disappointments are opportunities to really get stronger, re-engage, realign ourselves with our spiritual understanding, our spiritual truth. All right? Okay, namaste.